Hey there. We're about to dive into our version of William Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream. This is one of the 37 plays attributed to William Shakespeare. I talked a little bit about him in another video, so you can go check that out if you want. This play is one of his comedies. Back in Shakespeare's time, the only real difference between a comedy and a tragedy is that in a tragedy, everybody dies at the end. In a comedy, nobody dies. Nobody dies in this play, but thankfully, it also has jokes. Crude jokes, too. Jokes about a guy who gets turned into a donkey. And you know what another word for donkey is? Ass. And ass meant butt for Shakespeare, too. That's the joke. There's also one part where a character asks a group of people to pay attention by saying, "Masters, spread yourselves." It sounded as awkward then as it does now, if you think about it. Every time a character says something, and you think it might make a middle school kid snicker, it's intentional. There are a lot of characters in this play, and they're falling in love and out of love all over the place. It's a little confusing to keep track of who's in love with who. I think that's kind of intentional. It's kind of silly how the characters' emotions turn from one extreme to the other so quickly. The reason everybody's falling in and out of love so much is because some of the characters in this play are fairies. Now, the word fairy meant something different back then. This was before Walt Disney made Tinkerbell the poster girl for fairies everywhere. The term fairy tale used to apply to things like The Witcher, Lord of the Rings, Dark Souls, or Game of Thrones every bit as much as it would to Snow White, or Hansel and Gretel, or Shrek. This play has three main plots. The main plot involves these young people running around the woods trying to find each other so they can get married or something. It's the most confusing part, because it can be kind of hard to tell the characters apart when you're reading the play. The second plot involves the king of the fairies, Oberon, having an argument with his queen, Titania. He decides to resolve the argument by playing a pretty nasty prank on her. It goes sideways, hilarity ensues. The third plot involves a bunch of regular old dudes who decide that they're going to get rich by putting on a play for the Duke. The comedy there is that these guys have no idea how to put on a play, and none of them are actors. When they do put on the play, it's terrible. So, sit back and relax and try to keep up with our low-budget, low-talent, low-brow take on Midsummer Night's Dream.
Oh, fair Hippolyta, 4 happy days bring in another moon, and then we're gonna get married. But, oh, methinks how slow this old moon wanes. She's keeping me from what I want. Yeah, what I want.
4 days will quickly steep themselves in night. 4 nights will quickly dream away the time, and then I guess I'm stuck marrying you, huh?
Yep.
I don't mind the wait, to be honest.
Hippolyta, I wooed thee with my sword, and won thy love doing the injuries, conquering your kingdom, and kidnapping you, and bringing you back to my city, and then keeping you here in the palace. But I will marry you with pomp, and with triumph, with reveling, and with a party so big they're still going to be performing plays about it 100 years from now, or many hundreds of years, like a long time.
Happy be Theseus, our renowned Duke.
Ah, thanks, good Aegis. What's the news with thee?
Oh, full of vexation come I, with complaint against my child, my daughter Hermia. Thank you, dear. All right, come here, Demetrius. My noble lord, this man hath my consent to marry her. But, hey, Lysander, come here. gracious Duke, this man hath bewitched the bosom of my child. Thou Lysander, thou hast given her rhymes and interchanged love tokens with my child. Thou hast by moonlight at her window sung with feigning voice verses of feigning love, and stolen the impression of her fantasy with bracelets of thy hair, and rings, and trifles, and messengers of strong prevailment in unhardened youth. With cunning thou hast filched my daughter's heart, turned her obedience, which is due to me, to stubborn harshness. And now, my gracious Duke, she will not consent to marry with Demetrius.
Do what now?
Lysander tricked my daughter into falling in love with him, and now she won't marry Demetrius like I told her to.
Oh, okay.
I beg the ancient privilege of Athens, as she is mine, I may dispose of her, either to, oh, not you, the other one. Get out of here. Demetrius. No, not you, Demetrius. Either to this man, or to her death, according to our law. If she doesn't do what I say, I want to just chop her freaking head off. Hey,
I beseech your grace that I may know the worst that may befall me in this case if I refuse to wed Demetrius. So, what am I looking at if I stick to my guns here?
Well, either to die the death or to abjure forever the society of men. Therefore, fair Hermia, question your desires, examine well your blood, whether, if you yield not to your father's choice, you can go be a nun, never get married, and so you'll never get Lysander's, snuggles. But earthlier happy is the rose distilled than that which withering on the virgin thorn grows, lives, and dies in single blessedness. I mean, better to marry somebody than to live your whole life without, snuggles. Take time to think about this, and by the next new moon, my wedding day. Upon that day, either prepare to die for disobedience to your father's will, or else wed Demetrius as he would, or get thee to a nunnery.
Come on, Hermia. And dude, Lysander, back off.
Ugh, he just loves you so much, why don't you marry him instead?
Scornful Lysander, Demetrius is my bro, and Hermia is my daughter, so I can do whatever I want with her. And I want her to marry Demetrius.
Look, Theseus, I'm every bit as rich as Demetrius, and Hermia actually loves me. Besides, I caught Demetrius flirting with Helena the other day. I think he's just after Aegis's money.
Well, I must confess that I have heard so much, and with Demetrius I thought to spoke thereof, but, I'm a busy dude. But hey, Demetrius and Aegis, I've got something else I need your help with. Let's ride!
How now, my love? Why is your cheek so pale? How chanced the roses there do fade so fast?
For lack of rain, which I could well give them from the tempest of mine eyes.
Ay me, the course of true love never did run smooth.
Nope.
Hey, here's an idea.
Uh-huh.
I have a rich widow aunt with no child.
Yeah?
She lives just out of town.
Yeah?
And she thinks of me as her own son.
Really?
There, gentle Hermia, may I marry thee?
Oh!
And to that place the sharp Athenian law cannot pursue us.
Oh!
If thou lovest me, then steal forth from thy father's house tomorrow night, and in a wood, a league without the town, we'll meet up and run off together.
Oh, my good Lysander, I swear to thee, by Cupid's strongest bow, in that same place thou hast appointed me, tomorrow truly I will meet with thee.
Keep promise, love. Look, here comes her Helena.
Oh. Hi, fair Helena.
You call me fair? That fair again unsay. Demetrius loves your fair. Oh, happy fair! Your eyes are lodestones, and your tongue's sweet air more attunable than a lark to a shepherd's ear. Sickness is catching. Oh, were beauty so, yours I would catch, fair Hermia, ere I go. Oh, teach me how you got Demetrius to fall in love with you.
Well, I frown at him.
Oh, that your frowns would teach my smiles such skill.
I curse at him.
Oh, that my prayers could such affection move.
The more I hate him, the more he follows me.
The more I love him, the more he hateth me.
Look, Helena, it's not my fault Demetrius won't leave me alone.
None but your beauty. Would that fault were mine.
Are you even listening? Take comfort. He no more shall see my face. Lysander and I shall fly this place.
Helena, to you our minds we will unfold. Tomorrow night, through Athens' gates, we have devised to steal.
And in the wood my Lysander and myself shall meet, and thence from Athens run away to seek new friends and stranger companies. Farewell, sweet BFF. Pray for us, and good luck with Demetrius. Keep word, Lysander. We must starve our sight from lovers' food till tomorrow, deep midnight.
I will, my Hermia. Well, bye!
How happy some can be. Through Athens I am thought as fair as she. But so what? Demetrius doesn't think so. Before Demetrius looked on Hermia's eye, he hailed down oaths that he was only mine. I cannot betray him. I will go tell him of fair Hermia's flight. He'll pay attention to me. He might even thank me. But herein I mean to enrich my pain, to have his sight thither and back again. Demetrius! Hey, Demetrius, guess what I found out?
All right, is all our company here?
No. You have to do it official. Make it official. Call out everybody's names.
Right. Here is the scroll of every man's name, which is thought to fit through all of Athens to play in our interlude before the Duke and Duchess on his wedding day at night.
Ooh. What play is it?
Mary, our play is The Most Lamentable Comedy and Most Cruel Death of Pyramus and Thisbe.
Oh, I love that one. That's a good one. It's great. Now, good Peter Quince, call forth your actors by their names, as it says on the scroll. Masters, spread yourselves.
Answer as I call you. Nick Bottom, the Weaver.
Oh, ready. Name what part I am for, and proceed.
You, Nick Bottom, are set down for Pyramus.
What is Pyramus? A lover or a tyrant?
A lover that kills himself most gallant for love.
That will ask some tears in the performing of it. If I do it, let the audience look at their eyes. I will move storms. I will condole in some measure. But I'm better at being a villain.
Fair enough. Francis Flute, the bellows mender.
Here, Peter Quince.
Okay, Flute, you must take Thisbe on you.
What is Thisbe? A wandering knight?
It is the lady that Pyramus must love.
I don't want to be a lady. Come on. I have a beard coming in.
Don't worry, you shall play it in a mask, and you may speak as small as you will.
And let me hide my face, and I'll play Thisbe too. I'll speak in a monstrous little voice.
Oh, Thisbe! Oh, Pyramus! Oh, lover dear! Oh, I love you so much! Oh, I'm such a delicate lady.
No, you must play Pyramus, and Flute, you, Thisbe, get out of the way. Back. Robin Starveling, the tailor.
Here, Peter Quince.
Okay, Robin Starveling, you must play Thisbe's mother. Tom Snout, the tinker.
Here, Peter Quince.
You, Thisby's father, Snug, the joiner.
Yes.
You, hello, you, the lion's part. And I hope here is a play fitted.
Have you the lion's part written? Pray you, if it be, give it me, for I am slow of study.
It is nothing but roaring. Just roaring. That's it.
Oh! Let me play the lion too. I will roar that I will do any man's heart good to hear me. I will roar that I will make the Duke say, "Let him roar again! Let him roar again!"
Bottom, you'd be too good at it. You would fright the Duchess and the ladies, and they would shriek, and then they'd hang us all.
Well, definitely, yeah. They'd hang us if we were too scary, but I will aggravate my voice that I will roar you gently as any sucking dove. I will roar you as 'twere any nightingale.
You can play no part but Pyramus, for Pyramus is a sweet-faced man, a proper man as one shall see in a summer's day, a most lovely gentleman-like man. Therefore, you must needs play Pyramus.
Well, I will undertake it.
Masters, here are your parts. Memorize them by tomorrow night, and meet me in the woods, a mile outside of town by moonlight, where we will rehearse. For if we meet in the city, we will be dodged with company, and our devices known. I pray you all, fail me not.
We will meet, and there we will rehearse most obscenely and courageously. Take pains, be perfect.
At the Duke's Oak we meet.
Okay, we got it. Let's go, guys.
Well, that was a lot to take in. The beginning of our play introduces two of our three main plot lines and gives the big setup for what's going to happen. At the beginning, we have Theseus, the Duke of Athens. He's the guy that's in charge of the place, sort of like a king, and he's getting ready to marry Hippolyta, the queen of the Amazons. Theseus has taken his army to go conquer her land, drag her back to Athens, and now she's supposed to be excited about the idea of marrying him. It's kind of strange. And then in comes this guy, Aegis. He's got some young people with him. He's upset because his daughter Hermia doesn't want to marry this guy Demetrius. She doesn't want to marry Demetrius because she's fallen in love with Lysander. Aegis cares about this because he's going to have to pay a dowry to whichever man his daughter marries. Aegis says he wants Theseus's permission to punish his daughter if she doesn't obey his will. He needs Theseus's permission because the punishment for disobeying your father is literally being put to death. Aegis is not going to win any Father of the Year awards. Theseus gives Hermia 4 days to decide for herself whether she will marry Demetrius, be executed, or go join a nunnery and live alone without ever being able to get married. Hermia and Lysander, who are actually in love, decide that they don't like this very much. They make a plan to run off and get married in secret at Lysander's aunt's house. They're going to meet up in the woods that night and take off. They tell Hermia's bestie, Helena, about this. And Helena is upset because she's been in love with Demetrius, but he's not that into her. Demetrius has decided he wants to marry Hermia. Are you confused yet? When Helena learns that Lysander and Hermia are going to run off together, she decides that she's going to run off and tell Demetrius, even though he's going to be super upset that the lady he's after is going to run away with another man. He's going to have to pay attention to Helena, and he might even thank her. Helena is kind of pathetic. After all that, we get a scene where a bunch of guys have decided that they're going to put on a play for the Duke's upcoming wedding. If their play is chosen as the entertainment for the evening, they're going to get a nice big lump of cash. So they're going to put on a play called Pyramus and Thisbe, which is an old tragedy about lovers who wind up killing themselves over a misunderstanding. If that sounds familiar, that's because it probably should. We see that Bottom, one of the actors, is extremely full of himself and asks to be cast in every role. This is, of course, ridiculous. Bottom is ridiculous. So here are some questions to answer based on the first part of the play. Number 1. In the first scene, we learn about 6 different characters that are romantically involved: Theseus, Demetrius, Lysander, Hippolyta, Hermia, and Helena. Who is in love with who? One of them might not be in love with anybody, but everybody else has somebody they want to squeeze. Match them up. Number 2. Hermia's dad, Aegis, wants her to marry Demetrius. She doesn't want to do that, though. She wants to marry somebody else. What's going to happen if she doesn't marry Demetrius? It's bad. Real bad. Number 3. What does Helena learn at the end of the first scene? And what does she decide to do with that information? I just told you. Like a minute ago. Number 4. What's the name of the play that Peter Quince and his buddies are going to perform? And as kind of a bonus, do you think it's going to be any good? That's it for the questions that we have today. In the next video, we're going to introduce the fairy characters, and things are going to start getting a little weird. See you then!